Greetings from the Microsoft Partner Conference 2013 in Houston, Texas. I'm Mark Steffen with WinningSolutionsInc.com and MicrosoftAccessExpert.com, and I'm here with Ari Schorr, the Associate Product Manager for Office Technical Product Marketing at Microsoft. And we thought we would just record a conversation today between ourselves for persons who visit our YouTube page here who are interested in Access database technology, to give you an opportunity to hear from a Microsoft employee and a Microsoft partner. So first let me explain what the Microsoft Partner Conference is for all you folks who aren't familiar with it. It's a gathering of technical salespeople who work with businesses all over the world to help them connect, create, and deploy solutions based on Microsoft technology. So Microsoft hosts this conference once a year to bring together people selling their solutions together, so to let them know what they're working on and what we need to work harder on and to make ourselves successful. So some of the things I've been doing here at the show is attending sessions, which are classes put on by Microsoft. They're taught by Microsoft employees and other partners. They go over various technologies and business trends that we need to be aware of to be sure we are helping you, the customers, get the right technology. So let's get the conversation started, and I'll begin with some questions for Ari here.
Thanks for having me on, Mark.
You're welcome, Ari. Thanks for taking time. I know it's a busy conference for you, and we really appreciate you taking some time this afternoon to chat with us and people here who are interested in Access. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Microsoft.
Yeah, sure, Mark. So I'm actually 1 year into my work at Microsoft, just out of school at University of Michigan, and I have worked with Access for that full year. Also taken on Excel as well, but Access is my first love at Microsoft and something that I worked on from its onset for Access 2013. So something I'm really excited about talking to you about today.
Great, well thanks. So about how many people work with you on Access at Microsoft?
So I am actually the one product marketing manager on Access, but I actually work with a large engineering team that has program managers as well as developers and testers, and that team's almost 100 people large. So large investment from Microsoft on Access 2013 and moving forward.
That's fantastic. We're really pleased to hear that, because sometimes Microsoft has so many things that it's doing and so many different technologies that it needs to promote, and Access has been around a while, so it's not the latest, coolest thing, but it's still a very, very important thing. So what are three of the new features in Access 2013 you might like to highlight that maybe get a little bit overlooked for everybody?
Yeah, so with Access 2013, really the best way to think about it is there's the whole creation aspect. We're kind of taking it from being something that's kind of maybe a little bit harder to create an application, making it a lot easier. Right. So there's the application templates, the table templates. So the table templates are really cool because you actually you type in what you're looking for and looking to track, and it immediately prompts you with different table recommendations. So a lot of going back to some of the stuff we're bringing to the new office of making recommendations to get you started. So that's really what we brought to Access in the creation process. Then with some of the experience of it, it's all changed now that we've taken applications and brought them to the cloud on SharePoint and Office 365. So really thinking about the way that the applications are laid out is very much like the SharePoint UI, so very easy for users to navigate. And also, there's some cool new features in the UI, so like drill through to details, getting pop-ups just by clicking on a link to drill into more details about that particular record. Also, there's related items control to see some of the related items for a particular record that you're looking at. So those are kind of some of the new UI features. But really, I think the key for Access 2013 is just the scalability, manageability that you get with having them on SharePoint. And having the back end on SQL as well. So really a nice grow-up story to be able to say, hey, I have this application on SharePoint. It maybe outgrows what we're able to do on SharePoint. We can scale it into SQL Server.
Right. And for everybody who's not familiar with SharePoint, SharePoint is a great tool and platform that Microsoft has, and SQL Server is another platform that Microsoft has for their databases. So if you're not familiar with those or you need more information on those, you can certainly go to our website, MicrosoftAccessExpert.com or WinningSolutionsInc.com. Also, you can go to Microsoft sites, which have tons of information. And the easiest way to find a Microsoft site is usually just Microsoft.com/SharePoint or Microsoft.com/Access. And a lot of times that'll take you right to it. If you have any trouble finding it that way, you can always just go to Bing.com and search it on there. So one of the things we're hearing a lot about the partner conference, and of course that we see a lot in the world, because if you're a Firefox user, you get all these updates all the time. If you're a Google Chrome user, you get all updates all the time. With Access, we tend to wait a bit longer, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We do find a lot of people and we help a lot of people every day at Winning Solutions who have something that's maybe as far back as Access 97.
Right.
It's just plugging away.
Still tried and true, right?
Right, but maybe you talk a little bit about what will be the new way of updating going forward.
Right, yeah, so really we see in terms of updating, having the applications in Office 365 really allows that to be a continuous update because it is a service, but really to expand across platforms. I mean, that's really the key with Access 2013 and moving forward, is being able to have not the application sitting on a desktop somewhere, but really in the cloud, so that it's a really collaborative application, something that we can bring not only to, just the browser, but maybe native applications across different devices. So we want to take Access, we want to bring it everywhere, and we want to make it something that can be updated as well.
Fantastic. So speaking of Access everywhere, this is a new Microsoft Surface RT tablet, and the partners at the show. There are about 15,000 people like me here at the show today, not counting the people like Ari who work for Microsoft. And one of the things we were able to do was purchase a Microsoft Surface. And of course, you can get these from the Microsoft Store, and soon you're going to be able to get them through Winning Solutions Inc. and other partners directly. But anyway, that's a good segue into kind of where things are going there. So people should know that there are two kinds of tablets. There's an RT tablet and there's a Pro tablet. And the easiest way to think about it is the Pro tablet is really just a PC shrunk down to your form factor, so you run all the software you would normally know. RT is kind of new. It's a new development platform for Microsoft, and so it has kind of its own apps. And the reason they did that is they have to be competitive with iPad. They need that security model. One of the reasons you can't get a virus on an iPad, or it's very, very, very hard to, is because you can only get apps from the store. So Microsoft has developed the RT tablet, which is the one I'm using today, to allow customers to get applications securely without being worried about getting viruses. But they've also developed some technology to allow us to load custom applications that we're going to build for you for small businesses onto these tablets. So I thought we'll let Ari talk a little bit about kind of accessing the tablets.
Yeah, so really, as I was kind of mentioning my last answer to you, Mark, it really comes down to first bringing it to the browser. So when we bring it to the browser, we bring it to every device.
Right.
So, and that's really what we're doing with Office 365 and some of these SharePoint applications from Access.
Right, because the browser will be on. That means iPad, that means
so everyone will get
Safari, it doesn't matter what you have.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So doing that first, and then, you know what? We're really thinking about, as I said, those native applications, and thinking about how do we scale Access applications to maybe a native application RT, maybe iPad, who knows, obviously first invest on Windows, but really thinking about what is that next step, and you can kind of think about what that would look like. I mean, we're really simplifying the UI to do something with SharePoint applications in a browser, and continuing to simplify and make them something that are really allow the end user to focus on what their need is for their business.
Well, fantastic. No, that's really exciting. There's been a lot of exciting stuff. We still got about half of today and a half a day tomorrow to go, so there'll be a lot more exciting stuff happening. So we're looking forward to that. It was great of you to take some time, Ari, and join us. Was there anything else you wanted to say to our little audience here?
Well, I'd love to actually ask you a few questions.
That's right.
That's okay.
Would you please? Go ahead.
I mean, I came here to learn some about you as well. So.
All right.
So, Mark, how long have you been working with Access? I know you've been working on it a lot longer than I have.
Yeah. So our company's been doing this kind of since its inception. We kind of built our Microsoft partner practice around Access. We started in 1996, so that makes it about 17 years now. That was back when it was Access 2.0. So it was in the very early stages of development, and then we've worked on every version since then. So Access 97, 2000, 2002, 2003, 2007, 2010, and we're doing stuff heavily in 2013. So we can help customers who need to move applications forward That's a big thing. I was telling Ari on the way up here, if there are people coming to us to do a new application, one of the things they want to think about, whether you choose us to be your partner to do that, or you choose another partner, or you just choose to do it yourself, you do want to think about being on the latest version of Access so you can maintain the life of that application you built for the longest possible time.
Yeah, and to your point there, actually, we're really investing in making sure that people have the ability to do that, to move their applications forward, especially moving from like a desktop application to the cloud. So definitely trying to make that a lot easier. So what size database projects do you normally take on with Winning Solutions?
Sure. Well, one of the things we pride ourselves in doing is, like Access, it scales across a wide variety of customers. So it might be just a 1 or 2 person business, a 1 person business, just getting started, all the way up. We've done some work with the Fortune 100. Typically, those folks in the big companies are, usually a group that is having a little bit of a challenge getting things done within their own organization, or they kind of started something on their own. They were building it up and then needed a little bit of help to get it finished up. And so we provide the same kind of support and service for the big customers as we do for the small ones. Small customers are really important because it's small business that kind of drives through the bad economic cycles, whereas the big companies can kind of tend to stop spending. That's one of kind of the secrets that we've had to being a partner for 17 years, and to be able to last this long in this changing industry is by simply taking care of these small customers. So it doesn't matter, how small you are, and also it doesn't matter, if you've already started your Access app. We don't have to build the whole thing for you. We can help you, and if you just need to buy an hour of time or something to get some help, we'll do that.
Well, great, really great stuff, Mark. So when you're thinking about Access, we usually think about it as kind of maybe a small business solution in some sense, maybe a departmental solution in others. What do you do when a customer maybe outgrows Access as their business grows?
That's a great question. So we hope and encourage all our businesses to outgrow these things. And one of the great things about Microsoft as a company is they really do provide solutions from small business to enterprise. I was telling Ari before we got started, back when I got started in this business, when I was still in high school, Microsoft was just on the desktop, and they didn't have control of the server space in the cloud and the data center. And now Microsoft has kind of replaced IBM and some really big companies, but they really haven't forgot about the small people. And the way they're able to do that, because it's so hard to deal with so many little small customers, is through this partner network. And that's why Microsoft, and they talked about this morning in the keynote, that's why Microsoft has been able to get through all the changes that have happened in the industry, because Apple's come on strong and Google's come on strong, and Microsoft has not fallen by the wayside. If you've been in small business a long time, there have been a lot of things out there like Novell and Lantastic, things you may have heard of in the past. Those companies have basically gone away. And even though the market has changed dramatically with the shift to the cloud and the shift to tablets, Microsoft is really hanging in there and innovating. And from what I've seen at this conference, I'm really excited about it. And I think Microsoft really has a great strategy. And as they do many, many, many times in the past, they may not be the leader on day one, but in a year or two, they're basically taking over the whole market. So, if you're a little concerned about Microsoft and wondering, if you should start into building your business solution on it, one of the great things about Microsoft is that it can grow your small business all the way from just a 1 or 2 person startup into a company as big as Microsoft, or as big as Ford, or as big as NASDAQ. And so if you have that kind of growth vision in your company, and so the way we do that is by transitioning people up to Microsoft, they call it technology stack. And so you start in Access, and then when you outgrow that, if you can outgrow that, and it's pretty challenging to outgrow Access, because Microsoft makes it more powerful, every year. We go to this thing called SQL Server, which we talked a little bit about earlier, and some of the larger organizations will use a tool called SharePoint. And those databases are the same ones used by the big corporations like Ford, like NASDAQ, that run huge databases that are scalable and mission critical and that sort of thing. And so the nice thing about Access is that the next step in the transition is you don't have to cut all the way over to that technology. You can do what we call a hybrid technology, where you can keep some of your views and forms. So if you have things that basically are just within your office that your office staff uses, we can keep those in Access for you where you're comfortable and what you're used to. And then if you need to build some views into your data for the customers, so maybe you have thousands of customers visiting you on the web, and you need to let them put some data into your database, or you need to show them just certain data from your database, we can use SQL Server to make that happen. So that's kind of how it's done.
It sounds like a nice growth story for some small businesses who become larger businesses.
Yes.
So I think you hit on this a little bit before, but kind of what are some of the sizes of customers that you usually work with?
Sure. So, like I was saying earlier, it can be a very small company, 1 to 2 persons, and it's basically, if you were out there and you said, hey, I'm trying to build an Access database, I know I need a database for my company, what am I going to use? And you gravitate toward Access because it's either, right there as part of Office, but it really is a great database to choose. If you talk to people or you read the studies or read reviews and look at the competition out there on other platforms or even on Windows, this tool has not just dominated because it's Microsoft and Office, it's dominated because it's a quality product. And what's unique about it is it does allow you, the business person, who's maybe not a programmer or a developer, to make a start and build your database. And it empowers you so that you don't necessarily even need a partner to get started. But you also, and we have some customers we work with that are pretty skilled developers, but they don't want to be developers. They want to run their business. And so that's another reason people will come to us, is even though they could probably develop the whole thing themselves, it's just starting to take more time and more time away from their business, and so they want to turn it over to somebody. And so, we're here at Winning Solutions Inc. to do that. But I would also remind you that there are partners everywhere, and so you can certainly check to see if there's a partner in your local area. But the other thing too is now the internet has really changed everything.
It sure has.
So it's not like we're in the cement business and I can only haul cement so far to you before it gets dry in the rotating thing. With the internet, we have clients in Australia. We have clients in Bermuda. We really have clients all over the world. And some of them, I would say that maybe 60% of my clients I've never been in person with in the same place. Might have been in person on Skype, but
I love Skype, right?
Exactly. And so, see there, that's a perfect example of how Microsoft has this complete technology solution, so you don't have to get outside to a number of different third-party solutions that don't work as well together or might make your machine crash or something like that. We can use Microsoft tools for even the communication back and forth for you to explain to us, hey, this is what I need to do with my database, and I need you to make it happen. So the other thing too, if you are just starting and you're pretty sure Access is the right solution for you, it is because it's a very rapid development environment, and that's really key as a small business because you can't spend a year coming to market. We had some other sessions here this week where we really talked about how Microsoft is very good at building tools to make development fast. Now, some of those tools are being migrated up into their more powerful systems, but if you need something super fast, you can also use Access as a prototyping tool. Right? So we've got a couple of big customers who actually prototype everything in Access. Now, our message back to them is that you should just run on Access because if you use a SQL backend,
you can just scale right up from there.
You can just scale right up and have hundreds of users and go. But that is something you can do. So if you are investing in Access now and you're writing Access, don't be worried about losing that investment. At the very least, if you do end up developing it in a larger .NET technology, which is something that Microsoft has for creating front ends, you'll still be fine, and none of that is going to go to waste. And in fact, we're working on some tools right now that I haven't told Ari about yet.
Boy.
Yeah,
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, so we're working on a tool to convert Access forms to .NET forms. And this will be a really big deal. Now, it's not going to do everything because that's not possible. But if you had a database that had hundreds and hundreds of forms, and you needed to move it to .NET, that takes a lot of time and work. And you can tie up a pretty skilled developer working on forms, and that's the catch. So with our tool, you can do about 80% of the groundwork. Now, it's not going to get rid of the programmer. You're still going to have them, they're going to have to go back and touch all the forms and fix them up and do some adjustments to them to get them working the way you need them to work. But it's going to save that developer that's very expensive a lot of time.
Sounds like some great stuff coming from Winning Solutions.
Yeah, and I should also mention templates are a big thing. So, there's a lot of templates on Microsoft.com, and we would urge you to go there, grab a template so you don't have to start from scratch. You can pull a template down and build on top of that. If you can't find the template you want there. We've got some really cool templates that dive a little bit deeper. Microsoft tries to make some really broad templates, just as they do, and they have these for Excel and Word and all their programs, and not everybody's aware that those are out there.
Right.
So, goodness sakes, go out and grab one of those, but if you can't find the perfect template, we've started developing some templates that dive really deep. And one of the templates that we've got that's gotten a lot of traction is we created something that looks like Outlook's calendar, but it's in Access.
Very cool.
Yes. So there are just certain situations where there's certain things you're trying to schedule or forms that you need to fill out, or you're just more comfortable with Access. Outlook is just a little different animal to develop for. And for a small business, 3 to 5 users, you probably don't have your own Exchange server to do development work on and things like that. But you can just share this to a PC, and Access even runs off a NAS. It's incredibly. You can even put it on, and we've got customers that run Access databases on mobile servers. It's just incredible where you can set that code and link into it and run it. It's just super flexible. So if you're looking for something like that, something that can save, we've probably invested, say 500 hours in building this tool, and you just buy the tool buy the template for a few $100s, and it jumpstarts your project. And that's really huge. And in fact, in the keynote this morning, they were talking about doing just that. That was where they were talking about Microsoft was saying, hey, partners, you need to get out and have intellectual property like that to really help these customers take advantage of Microsoft technology. So I was pretty proud that I was at a company that before coming to the conference, we had already figured that out, and we were already uploading.
Well, that's really excellent stuff. I mean, really getting from just having your data within your small business or even enterprise, and being able to start your solution right there with Winning Solutions with Access is great.
All right, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate you coming on with us. And you bet. And come visit our rest of our other videos on our YouTube page here, and visit our site, winningsolutionsinc.com or microsoftaccessexpert.com, and you can contact us through that through a variety of ways. Thanks, everyone.
Hopefully the audio